Hi guys, the Overture patch was released today, so I sat through the tedious task of reading through all of it, writing a script with the most important changes on a piece of paper, so I can read them to you, so you don't have to. Also, stick around till the end for a surprise. Without further ado, let's get into it. A fresh single-player war story is added to Battlefield 5 with this update. This is The Last Tiger. In this setting, you'll join the German crew of Tiger number 237 Stefan, as it operates a near-indestructible Tiger 1 tank in an unwinnable battle on the borders of their fatherland. There's a new multiplayer map called Panzerfausts. Scarred and singed, the landscape tells a horrific story of a battle that is far from over. Wind your way through muddy trenches and shallow rivers to fortify key positions, utilize the supply stations built around the forested cabins, and gain an advantage by taking the high ground farms. Obi-Wan Kenobi would be proud. Practice range has finally been added to Battlefield 5 as well. In the practice range, you'll be able to join alone to test and practice with every asset available to you in Battlefield 5, or you can do that with your squad and have fun together with them. Activities differ depending on solo or squad play, so you might want to try out both. You can explore the base class weapons offered and find your favorite weapon, learn their spray patterns and practice aiming, flicking and turning accuracy. You can practice flying a fighter or a bomber plane and take out enemy planes or bomb targets. Now let's get on to some of the top issue fixes and some of the top changes. The first one is stability improvements for PC. It's very vague, but that's what it says in the patch notes, that they've added some stability improvements for PC. So we'll just have to take them up on that. If not, we'll burn them down. Gunners and tanks can now also duck and blind fire for added protection. They fixed weapons being locked even after reaching the required level to obtain them, so hopefully this will no longer be an issue. Infinite loading screens should be drastically reduced. Should is the word they used, so they might still occur. A UI glitch when viewing assignments during a game is fixed as well, so you won't have this floating screen where you can't do anything and you basically have to alt F4 as in most cases. Tweaks has been made to the soft catch-up mechanic in Conquest. It will now only be activated when the losing team is very far behind instead of rounds that are fairly close. This way it's more fair. They've delayed all airplane spawns in pre-round by 30 seconds as an intermediate measure to prevent bombers from spawn killing players. You saw my video about the Ju-88 being broken. This should fix that issue. Amount of ammo given to airplanes been reduced for forward-facing guns and cannons to make attrition a factor over long flights. This way they can balance weapons via ammo loads for planes. I don't know how this is gonna work out, we'll have to see. The Ju-88 German bomber now only holds 16 50-kilo bombs, down from the previous 32, and the rate of which they can be dropped have been reduced as well. Also, they can only hold 1,000-pound bomb instead of 2, or 1,000-kilo bomb instead of 2. The 8x MG specialization on the Spitfire has a new overheat behavior. These weapons offer great burst damage but begin to overheat quickly, with the rate of fire dropping substantially in sustained fire. So use these with caution. Automatic spawning is disabled in all modes except Final Stand, so this way you won't be forced into spawning when you're still trying to figure out your loadout at the starting of a map. The icon above bomb carriers in airborne and front lines will no longer be visible. This is because the community asked for it, a welcome change. The Panzerfausts, or as you would probably know them, RPGs, now do less damage but more consistent damage as well overall. The angle of a projectile hit are not that important anymore. As an example, before, a hit that would hit poorly would do 5 damage, now it will do 15. This way more reliably disable turrets, tracks and engines on vehicles. The first version of vehicle customization is rolling out for all players. They will be rolling out additional features for the customization for players and vehicles over time, but this is the first step for the vehicles. Aiming down sight and moving on uneven terrain at the same time no longer kicks the player out of ADS, aiming down sight. Thank God for that as a sniper. I hate being scoped in. I move down a pebble, I'm no longer scoped in, and I die. They fixed a legacy and a very common issue in Battlefield games, where a soldier jump could get interrupted when trying to jump over obstacles. Sometimes very small, like a pebble. This is a change I've been waiting for ever since Battlefield 3. I've hated it in every single Battlefield game, so this is a very welcome fix. Now that we've gone over the top changes, let's go into some of the changes for vehicles and weapons and gadgets. For vehicles, they've added reload time to bombs and rockets after planes resupply, so that they're not instantly available after resupply. They've refactored flak to deal more consistent damage versus large planes and slightly less versus smaller planes to even out the playing field. They've increased the direct hit damage of any stationary and half-track mounted AT guns, thus balancing the risk to reward scenario, because before they didn't do enough damage compared to how, well, vulnerable you were. And players are no longer able to instantly fire a rocket launcher when switching weapons, so you can't just quick fire a rocket launcher. Throwing knives maximum damage range has been reduced from 13 meters to 6.5 meters, so that means if you want to get a one-hit kill without hitting a headshot, you have to do so within 6.5 meters. The maximum capacity is also reduced from 6 to 2 throwing knives. Now the headshot multiplier is ×2 instead of just regular 1, making a headshot a guaranteed kill at any distance. So if you can get a 100-meter headshot kill with a throwing knife, I'll buy you pizza. They've decreased the maximum damage of the M1928A1, also known as the Tommy gun, from 30 down to 25.1. This way it shouldn't be as overpowered as it is right now. All SMGs have had their 5-hit kill range increased to 30 meters from 25 meters, and all assault rifles, LMGs, MMGs, and SMGs 4-hit kill range has been increased to 10 meters from 9 meters, hoping to make close quarter combat a lot more reliable. Now some changes to some of the most powerful guns in the game. The horizontal recoil of the KE7 has been increased by 25%, and the horizontal recoil of the M1907 SF has been increased by 5%. The reload speed of the KE7 and the M1907 SF is 0.2 seconds faster. Sustained fire accuracy of all SMGs while stationary and aimed have been improved, whereas the sustained fire accuracy for all assault rifles while aimed and moving has been decreased. The muzzle velocity of all the SMGs has been improved. The Sten is 495 meters per second, it was 430. The MP34 is 495, it was 450, and the high velocity bullet specialization are now 560 meters per second, it was 520. The MP40 is 455 meters per second, it was 400. The EMP is 420 meters per second, it was 380 meters per second. The MP28 is 345 meters per second, it was 320 meters per second. The Suomi KP is 330, it was 300 meters per second. And the M1928A1, also known as the Tommy gun, is 330, it was 280 meters per second. Now, there's also been some changes to the UI and the HUD, and some of the main things here is that they've added options for setting custom colors and glow on the reflex and nitro sights and colors for the latte sights. Iron sight zoom level now properly show as 1.5x instead of just 1x. They've added a kill log icon for kills where the projectile first traversed a material before killing the player. This way you can also tell they shot me through a material. So maybe they're hacking, that's why. It's not like they could see my foot through the wall, it's because they're hacking. No other reason, that's why. And now, 2 for the surprise. The paper is a lie. The script was on the PC all the time. Thank you for watching, I hope this helped you out with getting the most important info the easiest and laziest way possible. If there's anything you like or disliked about the patch, or anything you'd like to see changed in Battlefield 5, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.